Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the table. Today we are talking about a knife I bet most of us missed. So the year was 2011. One of Discovery Channel's hit series was Sons of Guns. So a series that was doing a great job at bringing U.S. gun culture into the average American living room. So this meme-worthy series was in its heyday for over 3 years, with lots of licensed merchandise bearing the name of the famed gun shop in the show, Red Jacket Firearms. In 2014, though, it was discovered that the lead star of the show turned out to be committing quite the heinous criminal acts off camera. He was literally a scumbag. And almost overnight, the Discovery Channel dropped the show like a hot potato, and the gravy train of Red Jacket Firearms merchandise was left to literally rot on the vine. Enter the Red Jacket Firearms 1911 folding knife. This was a knife destined for the big box retail market, and it seemed a no-brainer to partner with a popular name like Red Jacket Firearms to market a budget folding knife. So this knife actually comes to us from Ontario Knives, so the same company behind the popular Ontario Rat number 1 and number 2, as well as the Ontario Utilitac line of folders. So in applying their knife pedigree to this Red Jacket knife, they produced more than just a TV show tie-in gimmick, because this is actually a very solidly built folder in its own right. So let's check out the Red Jacket 1911. So this is what I would call a full-size everyday carry knife. We have a 3.5-inch blade with AUS 8 steel. And when the knife is fully opened, the overall length here comes in at 8 inches long. And so while the knife does not really feel that heavy in hand, it actually weighs in at 5.3 ounces. So the balance of the knife is really nice. It just fills your hand, and the overall weight of this blade was one thing that actually surprised me about it. It just doesn't feel that heavy because of the balance. So the knife that we have, it was marketed as a pistol grip knife, which basically means that there are these finger grooves in the handle, which gives you a really good grip when you're holding the knife. It feels very secure in the hand. The knife is actually advertised as having G10 scales, but my knife sixth sense here is telling me that these are actually FRN plastic handles, because they just don't look like, they don't feel like any G10 I've ever seen before. You know, that's not really a bad thing necessarily, though, because the texture on these handles here, it's very grippy, and it locks your hand right in place on the knife. And you can see on the handles, we have this very interesting groove shape to it. Just gives the knife a pretty unique look, just the way it's curved. And for a budget knife, we have a really nice feature here in that the pocket clip is actually 4-way positionable. So not many knives can incorporate that into the design these days. So whether you're a lefty or a righty, prefer tip up or tip down, you know, Ontario Knives, they have you covered. But we cannot forget about the TV show tie-in here. So the Red Jacket branding is featured in no less than 4 places on this knife. So first, let's look at the show side of the knife. We have the Red Jacket logo molded right here onto the scales. And so again, the way the logo is molded into the handle, it definitely makes me think these are plastic scales. Also, if we look at the back spacer, we can see the full name of Red Jacket Firearms. And I think it actually looks pretty classy here on the back spacer. If this was the only place where the name was mentioned, I think they could call it a day. It looks nice back there. Thirdly, the pocket clip. Let's take a look. We have a black coated clip with the Red Jacket shield on it. So this is a Benchmade style pocket clip with the same hole pattern. And again, it's 4-way positionable. And last but not least, though, the blade itself of this knife, we have the name of the knife itself, which is the Red Jacket Firearms 1911. This AUS 8 blade has a shiny satin finish and no other markings on the blade itself, just the name of the knife. And the blade does get some jimping here along the spine, so it's not super grippy or sharp jimping, but you know, I'm glad it's still there. I'm glad they decided to put it on the knife anyways. You know, and not only that, but the question is here, so why is the knife called the 1911 when it absolutely has no similarity in shape or design to the, 45 caliber pistol of the same name? You know, my only guess is that Ontario, and by extension Red Jacket, they were trying to pull in customers who may have been traditional gun people, into buying their knife while they were browsing the aisles at Cabela's or Sportsman's Warehouse or places like that. I do believe that in their final days, though, Red Jacket Firearms did release a variant of the 1911 pistol, so it may have been a tie-in to that as well, maybe. But what makes this knife really noteworthy and even worth making a video about is the build quality, because we have solid steel liners here. The liner lock is not thin, it's very robust. It has full early lockup. The knife itself, the blade, it runs on Teflon washers in there, and the action is just really smooth. It essentially has a drop shut action, so for a knife at this low price point, I think that makes it a winner. I mean, take a look at the thickness of these liners. Steel liners, a super thick liner lock, solid lockup. It's all very overbuilt for its price. And that does explain why the weight of this knife is over 5 ounces. But still, overall, I think this is a really solid folding knife. And so while this knife was discontinued easily, 7 or 8 years ago, it's actually still readily available from a few eBay sellers, brand new in package, at least as of the making of this video. And the best part is that the knife is currently less than $20 shipped to your door. So whether you just want a user knife, something reliable and heavy duty, or if you think that this knife is going to make a neat curio or collectible item, the current price really makes it affordable for everyone, brand new in the clamshell package. So of course, before we go, I'm going to make some comparisons, some side-by-side size comparisons with some other common folding knives, so stay tuned for that. But if you have any questions about the Red Jacket Firearms 1911 folder, feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this knife. It's certainly an interesting one. Hope you all have a nice day, everybody, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye.